Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. About a week and a half ago, we harvested honey. We shared that journey with you guys where we pulled all of the supers from the top of our beehives. We ended up with about 3.5 full boxes of honey. We used our extractor that we purchased this year to extract the honey from those frames, and we ended up with about 100 pounds of honey. Exciting. It was fun. What we failed to mention to you guys was that we also had a secret stash that we've been keeping behind, and I'm going to share that with you guys today. This here is our flow hive. We've had this for about 4 years. We've had, over the 4 years, I think we've been successful with it 2 out of the 4 and unsuccessful 2 out of the 4. This might be the 5th year, I think, and we were successful. We had a good population. The bees moved up in there. So we're gonna harvest this today. I got a few things to set up beforehand to get things ready. I gotta tilt this hive back. Right now it's leaning forward. So I'm gonna get all that stuff done, and then I'll bring you guys in here nice and close so you can see how this extraction process works with the flow hive. There's some little plugs that go in on the top up here. That's how you access the mechanism to split these frames. And then down here in the bottom, some more little plugs where the little tube goes in that the honey pours out of. That goes in just like that. And the way these frames are designed, if you picture like a cell inside of a beehive colony that they store honey in, these ones are actually separate. They're like 2 separate pieces that are put together right now. And what the bees will do is they'll go in and they'll seal up that crack all the way around that cell and fill it with honey, and then they'll cap it. When I stick this rod inside of here and I twist it, it's going to take those cells and they're going to split like this. So all that honey that was stored in there is now going to pour out. It's going to run down through, it's going to get to the bottom, and it's going to come out this tube into our jar. So this here's the rod that goes in, and it kind of slides in the bottom, or it can slide into the top. It's in the top right now. The top is what you do to close the cells, and the bottom is what you do to open the cells. And if I slide this all the way in and I turn it, it's going to open the whole thing all at once, which can actually break something. So it's better to do it little bit by little bit as you go. Like, do like a little bit of it, stick it in a few more inches, turn it, a few more inches, turn it, until you get the whole thing opened up. There we go. I guess while we're doing this, we can, I lost my pliers. There we go. We can do another one. We'll get 2 of these rolling at the same time. And normally when we do this, we'd use like half-gallon jars, but I'm just doing quarts this time because I'm not really sure what's all gonna really come out of here. So I don't know if it's gonna be a lot or a little, so we'll find out together. It's like our first one's starting to flow. Now I have at least one other video on this process. I think it's a longer video, maybe 20 minutes or so. This one's probably going to be a bit shorter, but I do want to touch on some things, common questions that people had in the previous video. And it was a beautiful night the last time I did this. The sun was shining. It was still in a position on our property where the sun was shining like right through these jars of honey. It was beautiful, beautiful. I'll try to remember to link that video down below the like button for you guys. But when the honey came out of the jars, they were all different. They were different colors. This one was really light, this one was dark, another one was medium. And people were like, what the heck? Why is the honey all different colors? And the answer to that is because it depends. When the bees are going through and they're harvesting throughout the season, they may start on this middle frame when the clover's in season. and fill this up most of the way with clover honey. Later on in the season, they might start working on alfalfa or goldenrod, or different flowers are in season at different times of the year. So your honey can look different depending on what they harvested during that part of the season. Going slow. Made some room. I think I can get a fourth one going here. These outer ones, I don't really think they had much at all in them, so. And this process can take a little while, depending on, well, how much honey there is and kind of how warm it is. I mean, the bees are naturally going to keep the inside of the colony very warm. It is kind of cool out here today at, I don't know what it is, 65 degrees, 60 degrees, something like that. So it is contributing to my slow flow here. So yeah, this one on the end has nothing. I'll shift things around, see if I can start this other side over here. So I think one of the other common questions that we've gotten from our previous videos about the flow hive was, is it worth it? And that question is difficult to answer. Rachel purchased this for us. I think it was our first year or second year beekeeping. We harvested honey the very first year. We were excited. So she bought this for us, and they're expensive. I think they run close to, I want to say $500 for this. So they are expensive. Do they work? Do they work well? Do they work as designed and advertised? Yeah, I feel like they do. I mean, this is I think my third time harvesting honey from it, and it's pretty easy. I mean, the bees are totally not around me today. I could probably be doing this with my bee suit off. Well, $500 is a lot of money. In fact, the extractor that we just purchased, if you caught our last honey harvest video, that was a Maxent 3100P electric extractor. Expensive. It cost me about $1,000 to buy that thing. So for the cost of one extractor, very nice extractor, you can buy 2 flow hives. So I think some of the decision-making process, some things that you need to factor into that decision-making process is, how many hives are you going to have? Are you always only going to have 1 or 2? If so, then I think the flow hive can be a pretty cool option for you. I mean, because you don't really want to spend, I guess in the end it all works. I was going to say you don't really want to spend $1,000 on an extractor when you only have 2 hives, but then you're still spending $1,000 on 2 flow hives. So, but this is definitely a lot easier. It's less invasive to the bees. It's more pleasant for me. It's beautiful, the sun shining on our honey like this. So that's definitely something, when you're factoring things in, how many colonies are you going to maintain? If you're going to have 1 or 2 or 3 colonies, flow hive might be a good option. If you're going to have 7 like I have, or 15 or 20, then probably steer clear from the flow hives. It's cool as a gimmicky thing if you have that many hives, but you need a proper extractor at that point. Well, someone has informed the yellow jackets that there's free honey back here, so I'm contending with them now. But so far, our results are pretty underwhelming. But that's okay. I mean, this is more honey than I had an hour ago. And you will see sometimes, I don't know if hopefully it shows up on camera, by using the flow hive, you will end up with some little specks of pollen every now and then, and a couple little specks of wax because of the way that it's designed. So if you see things like these little red specks, it won't harm anything. It's actually kind of good for you to actually consume pollen along with your honey, especially if you're consuming it for the purposes of reducing allergic responses to, like, you know, there's people who will eat honey, a couple spoonfuls of honey every day just to help it so that when their allergies kick in, it's not as bad. And that yellow jacket right there is just chowing down. So not a very impressive harvest this year. We have this one, this one, this one, this one. So you add all those up, I got maybe a quart, maybe a little more than a quart, quart and a quarter, something like that. No fault of the flow hive by any means. This is the bees. The bees just, this was a weird colony this year. I think this is one of the ones that swarmed on me, which I caught, and they're now living in one of those other boxes over there. But this is more honey than I had yesterday, so I'll take it. It's winter preparation right now, season for all of my colonies, for the bees. I need to get them ready for winter. I need to get the hive bodies wrapped. I have insulated wraps that I put around them. I need to continue my mite treatments. I started that on all of the hives except for this one, because this one still had honey. So I will continue my mite treatments for at least a couple more weeks, and then I'll put quilt boxes on the top and mouse guards on the front, and then we'll be set for winter. So I'm curious when I pull this off if it really is as light as it is when it's empty, or if there's still some honey down inside there. So I'll pull this, I'll take this out to the front of the house where I feed bees a lot, far, far away, like 300 feet away. All the bees will come out tomorrow, they'll clean all the rest of that honey out there, and then I'll put this away for the winter. So if you have questions about the flow hive that I didn't answer today, leave them down in the comments. I'll try to address them either in the comment section or on another video next year, or who knows, I may do some more beekeeping videos this year. I want to try to, I've done a video in the past on how I set up my hives to overwinter, but I've kind of changed things a little bit now, so maybe I'll do a video on that if you guys have enough interest in it. So thanks a lot for coming along. I'll get this brought in the house. We'll get them all combined into one. May even filter it, because one of these has a lot of wax in it. And I will see you guys on the next video.